Bravo, this is Warhawk1337. We spotted another shot redux commentary inbound. Check out the cam feed at battlefield.play4free.com. Over.
You know, one of the things I really hate is when you get into a game too soon and it makes you suicide. Just like right there. But that's just besides the point. Of course, the vehicle that I'll be going over in this video commentary is actually the BlackHawk. The person that suggested for me to go through and use the BlackHawk, their name is
robertsgeorgs.
So thank you very much, Roberts, for this video suggestion, and I hope you enjoy it, as well as you other fellow BlackHawk lovers out there. The BlackHawk's main purpose in Battlefield Play for Free is definitely a transport helicopter. However, that doesn't stop it from being a deadly transport helicopter. The amount of health that you get with the BlackHawk is 1,000 health, and that is about 200 health points difference in comparison to the mill support helicopter for the RU side. So you do get a little bit less health. However, that is made up for the simple fact that you also get dual miniguns instead of just regular machine guns mounted on the side like you do with the support mill. So there are a few differences that weigh the balance between both the support choppers, not necessarily equally, but you know, weighs out in some areas. So BlackHawk has less health but more firepower, which makes the BlackHawk very devastating. The total amount of people that you can carry inside the BlackHawk is 6. That is 2 minigun seats as well as 3 regular seats inside the you know, the center of the BlackHawk. So you're either looking at your left side or your right side when you're sitting in the BlackHawk as a passenger. However, one of the interesting things with the BlackHawk is if you do manage to get on land, you can pretty much be devastating by yourself with the BlackHawk without having a team, you know, assisting you, especially if you're an engineer, because you can go through and repair the BlackHawk as well as do some considerable amount of damage with the miniguns on it. Also, the other nifty thing is you do have the versatility of being able to fly on top of rooftops, sitting on top of there, and being able to gun down your enemies using the miniguns on it. The total amount of minigun ammo you get is actually 200, and as soon as you burn out of it, it takes a couple seconds for it to just go through and reload the minigun ammo again, and you'll be able to just continue laying your barrage of bullets at your enemies. Due to the fact that the BlackHawk is a support helicopter, it does have a bit of clunky flying controls because it is a bit slower in comparison to the attack choppers, as well as not maybe as fast as you would like it to go. So that is one of the downsides with the BlackHawk, is due to its size and its purpose. It's not really fast, and the controls are a little bit slower for being able to do certain maneuvers. Of course, when you're piloting the BlackHawk, you do have the option of deploying your flares in case you're being locked on by rockets, so that's always a nice plus as well. But just keep in mind that since the BlackHawk really isn't that fast, you are a quick and easy target for someone in an AA to take you out. As far as the damage goes for using the miniguns, you can actually damage all the battlefield vehicles in the BlackHawk with the minigun. So depending on where you aim at, you can actually do some serious damage as well. Even tanks. You can just go through and shoot the tank treads with the minigun. The APCs, you can just shoot them at them, you know, just their regular armor-plated body. Fast attack vehicles, you can just shoot at them as well. Also, the other nifty thing with the minigun is that if you're firing from longer ranges, just because of the rate of fire and the barrage of bullets that are being you know, spat out from the gun, you'll be able to make your shots quite easily from longer distances as well if you line up your shots right. Of course, if you're going it alone inside the BlackHawk, you definitely have to be careful being stationary for too long, or making sure that you know you're in a good, safe place to make your shots, because snipers can pick you off quite easily when you're actually in the secondary seats, and if you're flying towards somebody in the BlackHawk that is trying to snipe you, you can get picked off quite easily as well. One of the other interesting things with the BlackHawk is if you do have a full amount of health and somebody decides to crash into you, you would actually win the ramming war, so to speak. You won't necessarily die, but you will have considerably less amount of health, so just make sure you're careful with that depending on how you fly. So the BlackHawk also acts as a really good ramming vehicle, so depending on how you fly into certain vehicles, definitely you know, some of the Hummers and the GAZ, you know, fast attack vehicles, you can just pretty much crush them and destroy them by ramming into them, which is kind of funny and fun at the same time. Just to touch up on some more of the negative points with the BlackHawk now. It does have a little bit less health, like I said, than the mill support chopper that the RU side gets. Also, being that it's a support chopper, the controls are a bit clunkier, so you know, for flying it's a little bit slower and not as responsive as you would like it to be in comparison to the attack choppers. Also, due to how slow it flies, you are a bit of an easier target for AA and air vehicles alike. Also, if you are rolling by yourself, you don't necessarily have the support you would need for people that could help you inside the miniguns to fire and lay down, you know, bullet fire to protect you a little bit. Also, being the pilot, the only thing you really have to your advantage to be able to evade your enemies is just the flares, which you can really only use, you know, one time until you have to wait for it to reload again. But you don't really have any you know, attack methods when you're piloting the vehicle. With some of those things being said, there are a couple varied ways that the BlackHawk can be used. You know, it can be used in a support role as far as being able to transport your teammates on foot a little bit faster to different areas of the map. Also, it can be kind of a you know, flying warship of sorts if you have two gunners and if you fly level enough for them to be able to make their shots. Just make sure that you're not staying there for too long. You know, you can get a team of at least 3 people, you know, one person flying and the other 2 in the minigun turrets, and just being able to fly sideways in the BlackHawk and assist you know, your teammate by making them have a good field of view to gun down some of your enemies for you. You'll rack up some pretty good kill assist points for that and co-pilot points, as well as them getting their KDE ratio up. So this is definitely a teamwork vehicle, but you can go it alone if you really wanted to. But for best results, it's better to have teammates with you helping you inside the BlackHawk, and you feel more rewarded and a lot more fun, and you know, you feel like you're actually being a team player. Currently, during the time of this video, the only time you really see the BlackHawk is actually in Dragon Valley, and there's only one BlackHawk there. And in Omen, you get to have 2 BlackHawks. So until they release more maps, I'm pretty sure we'll see the BlackHawk in some of the other air vehicle maps as well. Alright, all in all, like I said, the BlackHawk is definitely good for what it's worth. Do I suggest going through and playing by yourself in it? No, because it's extremely difficult at times unless you're sitting up perched somewhere just firing at longer ranges. So the minigun can kind of serve as a dual purpose sniper rifle that fires a ton of bullets at somebody at longer ranges, so you can keep that in mind as well. What you're seeing right now with me being perched on top of one of the rooftops, that's definitely a really good tactic, especially if you want to help your team assault a enemy base by just taking out you know, the enemy and their areas that they're going to, so that way it gives your team a fair chance to come through and push up to attack the enemy base and capture the flag. However, the only way this really works is if you're able to get in close enough before somebody has a chance to take over the AA to take you out first. Also, one of the other annoying things is that if you're flying head-on against the AA, and if the rocket manages to hit the cockpit, it can kill you instantly but not destroy the BlackHawk. So just make sure to keep that in mind and just be very careful. One of the tactics that I've learned to develop with the BlackHawk over time is if you learn how to fly sideways towards any of the AAs or anything like that, I noticed that some of the rockets fly through the inside of the BlackHawk because it's open on both sides. So the rockets kind of just fly through that area, and it kind of increases your chances of being missed by a rocket. So keep that in mind, and if you're not really good at flying sideways, now's a good time to practice and do that. So that way you can at least be able to help and become a better pilot for your team. So just going over it one more time, the BlackHawk is definitely a good vehicle to have on your team, just for the case alone of being able to transport your teammates from wherever they need to go. The total amount of people that it can carry is actually 6, and that's a pilot, 2 minigun support people on the side, as well as 3 additional passengers. The BlackHawk does have a bit of clunky flying controls, but once you get used to it, all the other vehicles will seem a lot easier to pilot, especially the attack choppers. You don't get any type of attack methods when you're piloting, so realistically your only support will be the 2 minigunners on the side if you do have teammates to help you with that. The only thing you can really do as a pilot is just deploy your flares to remove missile and rocket lock-ons. However, due to the slowness of the BlackHawk, sometimes it is hard to evade a lot of those rockets and missiles. Fortunately, though, you do have a large amount of health. Having 1,000 health is pretty good to be able to get to the area you need before the BlackHawk gets taken down. Of course, if you were to play in the BlackHawk by yourself, you can switch back and forth between the passenger seat and the pilot seat, so that way you can go through and take out your enemies quite effectively while capturing flags. As far as the gameplay types that you can go through and do with the BlackHawk, like I said, you can be a support role and just carry your teammates from point A to point B, or you can be in an attacking role with it, and the best way to be an attacking role is by having a 3-man team inside the BlackHawk. Like I said, 1 being the pilot and 2 gunners, so that way you can go through and have them just fire off the minigun while you're leveling out and lining up shots for them. But the only way, the best way really to line up shots for anybody in the minigun would be to fly sideways into battle instead of directly forward, so that way it gives them the best field of range of view as possible. Also, one of the other good things about the BlackHawk is it makes a good ramming tool for the lighter vehicles. So if you need to crush an enemy quickly, and if you have enough health, you can crash into the fast attack vehicles or the Humvees and the Gauze cars, so that way you can kill your enemies really quickly by just crashing into them. And the best part about it is that you won't die. That's if, like I said, if you had enough health in the BlackHawk to do that. One of the other cool things that I like about the BlackHawk that I use for mainly B and C areas is it does provide additional cover for you if it's already a blown up BlackHawk. So if you go and run away, somebody blows up the BlackHawk, you can run back to it and hide behind it for cover and be able to continue capturing flags. So the debris of the helicopter itself actually assists you in having another area for cover to be able to lessen bullet fire coming in your direction to protect you. Another good thing about the BlackHawk is that it's the most readied vehicle in Battlefield Play4Free, and it does spawn the quickest. So it's usually always ready for you to take and go with. In comparison to some of the other vehicles that everybody tend to enjoy a lot more, like the attack choppers or the jets. Okay, so my final thoughts. Personally, I do like the BlackHawk a lot for what it's worth. It does help me get into some good scenarios and helps me capture points quickly when I don't feel like going through and using some of the other vehicles. Not only that, but I like it for the simple fact that I can fly and parachute out whenever I need to. And sometimes I just like flying really high in it and parachuting out and just going into the enemy lines or behind enemy lines and capturing the base. But thanks for the video suggestion, and I'll see you guys next time.